Hey everybody, what's up? Today we're going to be talking about Shirimani. She is a very solid champion. She is really cool, and I think perhaps the most reliable freeze in the game. She's a really solid champ. So I want to talk about her kit. I want to talk about some different ways you can build her, what to focus on her, and then how to use her. And then near the end of the video, we'll show some gameplay footage of her in action and all the areas that I think she's beneficial that I can access anyway. Right as of recording this. High Elves Faction Crypt isn't open, so I can't show you what she does in there, but you'll get the idea when you see her in dungeons, right? Anywhere where there's waves, she's going to offer lockdown. We're going to talk about some champs we can pair her with and just all the different things she's good at because she's a very diverse champ. She can be used in many different ways, and this reliable freeze that she has on top of everything else she's bringing to the fight is really great. She's a really great champ. So she's a support champ. She's got great base stats, good enough base HP, base defense is okay, base speed is great, easy to scale up, and yeah, solid champ. Doesn't need any crazy sets or anything. You can focus the basics on her and get what you need out of her. So we'll talk about why mine's built the way she's built in a second. First, I want to talk about her skills. We've got an A1 that's a 3-hitter, 15% chance of placing a freeze. So this is just kind of reinforcement for the other freeze that she has, I would say. Although it's very rarely going to miss. It's also a 3-hitter, which is nice for Fire Knight. So she's got some utility in there, given the proper affinity, of course. So she's got that going for her. She's got some decent support, and then she's got good wave support as well. So she can help you progress through Fire Knight. I don't know that I would say that she is a... I don't know that I would say she's a first choice for a speed team, but perhaps with her ability to lock down waves, she could help you speed up your time a little bit. And then again, she is going to help you get the shield down in Fire Knight. But again, anywhere where there's enemies that can be frozen, she's fantastic because it's a very reliable freeze. Also, only 3 books to waste in the A1, so that's not so bad. On her A2, she's got heals one ally by 50%, all other allies by 20% of their max HP, and then puts continuous heal buff for 2 turns on targets that have full HP. And this only needs 1 book, and it gets down to a 4-turn cooldown. Pretty solid heal, right? The ally who needs it the most gets 50%. Everybody else gets 20%. Again, so now between her A1 and A2, that's only 4 books, right? She's not super duper book hungry until you get to the A3. But since the book costs a solo here, it still kind of balances out to her being one of the Legos that I would say needs less books than some of the other ones that need like 15. You know what I mean? Here's her money, though. This is really what it's all about. AoE, 80% chance to freeze for 1 turn. When you book it up, it's 100%. Fills this champ's turn meter by 10% for each enemy attacked. So that's also pretty nice, right? Turn cycling, if it's anywhere where there's, Doom Tower, Dungeon Waves, there's 5 enemies, that's a 50% boost. If it's in Spider and there's all the Spiderlings, she's going to give herself another turn. That's pretty cool. And it's on a 5-turn cooldown. Running her with someone that can reduce cooldowns, maybe like a Pain Keeper or something like that, would be pretty nice to help her cycle through this faster. But it's still not necessary. There are some other ways you can go about reinforcing this and helping her get this out a little bit more often. And again, we're going to talk about some of that. And then she's got a Faction Crypt defense lead. So as far as masteries go, this is what we're looking at. Again, we want to boost up her accuracy. This doesn't affect her freeze, but I wanted it to get down to here anyway. And then over here, just basic stuff for, I think when I did this, I had Arena in mind. This lets her put leech up when she freezes, takes less damage, a chance to counterattack, which means she's got a chance to freeze, right? Counterattack again. So we're giving her opportunities to counterattack with the A1 to maybe pepper out some freezes here and there. Not a super high chance on the A1, but it is a 3-hitter, and if she's counterattacking, she's throwing it out more. So that's what I did with the Masteries. There are, of course, other ways to do it. That's what I went with. As far as ways to build her, you want her fast. I think pretty much across the board, you're going to want her fast. Relatively tanky, and then very accurate, right? Since she doesn't have to pass a proc check, right? Once you book this up and it's 100%, that means as long as she passes the accuracy check, she's going to land the freeze. So in the same way that Ceres, you just want to stack accuracy on, that's what we want to do with Shirimani. Now, for the types of teams that I tend to attack with the team that she's on in Arena, this accuracy has been fine. She never lets me down. She pretty much freezes everybody that I ever need frozen. We went double speed accuracy. Perception sets are fantastic for her. Speed sets, accuracy sets, right? Anything that get these key stats up. Divine speed is fine. Anything that gets these key stats up, speed, accuracy, and then you want to tank her up. I wouldn't worry too much about her damage output or anything like that. It's a fairly straightforward build. And if you pair her with certain champs, it gets even better. I like to run her. I'm going to show you a run later where we run her with Rosin. And the reason that I like to do this is Shirimani goes before Rosin and freezes everybody, and then Rosin comes in and bogs everybody down, right? So that basically freezes them for a whole nother turn, right? We freeze them as their turn meters are nearly full. Rosin takes away all their turn meter. Now they got to fill it back up again. This gives Shirimani an opportunity to cycle around and freeze them again before they ever get a turn. So if we run, let's say we have our Arbiter or another decent booster. It's a Gorg, it's Apothecary. There's tons of boosters in the game now, right? You got your booster, you got your Rosin, you got your Shirimani. Now you're freezing with Shirimani, bogging down with Rosin, turn cycling with the booster. You're already fast Shirimani. Maybe you try a reflex set on her. Maybe you run her with a Pain Keeper. You know what I mean? Now we're talking about ways to cycle around and really keep these waves frozen so that if your champs are a little squishy, maybe Shirimani unlocks some content for you. You know what I mean? Maybe she pushes you a stage or two further, where in some cases the waves are harder than the boss for you to deal with, right? Maybe you've got good tools to deal with the boss, but they're not so much good tools to deal with the wave. Shirimani can kind of alleviate that pressure for you and help you get there. So she's got a lot of great pairings. Basically anybody that decreases turn meter, anybody that helps her turn cycle, right? Speed buffs, turn meter boosting, things of that nature. Anything you can do to get this A3 out as much as possible is going to be a good move for Shirimani. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop over. We're going to show you some of the gameplay. I'm going to show you how I run her in my cleave as a little bit of insurance so I don't get cut. I'm going to show you what she looks like in some other PvE content. She's pretty much good anywhere where there's enemies that can be frozen, right? Wouldn't bother with her in Clan Boss, wouldn't bother with her in Hydra, but any dungeon pretty much, Doom Tower, Arena, these things are all fantastic for her. So that's it. We're going to hop over and take a look. I'll pop in at some key moments and talk about what is going on. If I think there's something that's interesting happening or I want to, point something out or something I think you should be keeping an eye on. Other than that, we're just going to get to it. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure and like the video if you got anything out of this. And if you're not subscribed, man, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Hit that subscribe button. That's it. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to go ahead and say bye now, even though I'm going to be talking more in the video in a second. So yeah, appreciate y'all. Later. So for this, if you saw my grow hack guide, I had a team that was all orcs for a mission, and Vrask was in the spot that Shirimani's in. I figured just to emphasize how strong she is in the sense of her control with how reliable this freeze is, I would take out the heals that Vrask brought and put in Shirimani at weak affinity to show that her crowd control at weak affinity can still counteract the healing Vrask was bringing and still help this team win. Which is just wild that she's that reliable of weak affinity. So offering only the support that she brings with her heal and the freezes, she still lets this team get through Spider. Of course, paired with Growhack's ability to lock down the big Spider. If you haven't seen that yet, you should check it out. But that's the point of this run. That's what I'm showing here is that her crowd control is just insane.